What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be taking you through a full day of eating, showing you everything, absolutely everything that I consume as a League One professional footballer. I'm talking breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, supplements, absolutely everything, giving you a full in-depth look into how my diet works on a day-to-day basis as a professional footballer. As always, before we get into the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment below of what you want to see next, leave the video with a thumbs up, and let's get straight into another video. Okay, meal number one. So we have 3 pieces of bacon, 2 eggs, a little bit of avocado and some veg. So we're going for asparagus, mushrooms and tomatoes, all on a bagel. The calories and macros for this meal I'll plug at the top of the screen here. Breakfast is always pretty much my biggest meal of the day, and today is a day off, so it is slightly different. If I'm training, I would normally have just literally a breakfast smoothie and then head down to the training ground, whereas this morning, I've got a little bit more time to prep and cook in the kitchen, so I'm going to be putting a lot more emphasis on the foods that I'm consuming. I'm normally aiming for around about 3,200 calories each day. The day before a game, I will consume a little bit more, and I aim to get around about 200 grams of protein in as well. So these are my calories and macros for the day. So like I said, first meal of the day today, an absolute flyer to kick things off. Let's get straight into today's video and today's first meal. It's a good one. Okay, one thing that I did forget to mention is 2 things that I have every morning or at some point throughout the day is beetroot juice and cranberry juice. Now, beetroot juice in particular is something that a ton of athletes have. It's supposed to help you massively with performance. The thing to note is that having both of these will make your wee come out a little bit red. So don't be alarmed like I first was when I consumed these. I did get a bit of a fright, but then basically after doing a test, I did realise that it was just beetroot juice that made my wee come out red. But 2 that I would definitely recommend. Beetroot definitely at the top of the list. So red. And also,
oh my god, that's made your teeth go red.
Tastes disgusting as well, but supposedly good for you, so. Right, so just a little disclaimer. Now, I'm not saying this is how you should eat or exactly how all footballers eat. Probably footballers out there that have a much better diet than I have, but on the other hand, they probably have personal chefs and nutritionists being able to do all of the work for them. Someone cooking their own meals and taking charge of their own nutrition, I feel like I'm doing a pretty decent job of it myself. Now, I always put a lot of emphasis on the foods that I'm consuming. So when it comes to protein, that's all about your growth and repair of muscles. So I put a lot of emphasis onto my protein intake. Carbs are what essentially fuel up my training and performance for match days. I also try and ensure that I get tons of healthy fats into my diet. So things like avocado, nuts and seeds, and then cooking oils as well. So things like coconut oil and olive oils. But the totals that I have myself throughout the day won't necessarily be the totals that you should be having if you're someone that's interested in football. Everyone's going to be different in terms of the total calories that they should be consuming each day. So as mentioned, I'm not saying this is how all footballers should eat, but I do feel like on the whole, I have a pretty solid diet for a professional athlete. Hopefully this video is providing a little bit of inspiration and recipe ideas for those that are interested. On that note, it's time for snack or meal number 2 of the day. The time is 2:30, which means it is time for our second meal of the day or snack. Now, if you've been following on Instagram and TikTok for a while, you know about my sort of world's greatest ever smoothie. This is something that I have pretty much every morning or throughout the day, like I'm doing today. It is low in calorie, it's high in protein, and it is a perfect start to the day, or like as a snack throughout the day like I'm having here. So the recipe for this one is 1 banana, a handful of blueberries, a handful of blueberries, a handful of raspberries, 1 protein shake, which I picked up from Aldi, 35 grams of protein in this, a handful of flax seeds and a handful of chia seeds, a little bit of Manuka honey, which is, in all honesty, a bit expensive, but I have been reading a little bit that this is supposedly the god of all honeys. So a tiny little bit of Manuka honey, and then if there's any room left, top that up with a little bit of milk and blend that all together. Word of warning, that this smoothie, although it is the greatest smoothie of all time, it is a little bit of a bowel mover. So, especially if you're drinking it on an empty stomach, be prepared that you may need to visit the toilet at some point very shortly after consuming it. Okay, one good thing about a smoothie, if you're someone that struggles for time throughout the day, these are a perfect way to get some quick calories in, high protein into your diet. Literally takes about 2 minutes to make, so rather than having to faff around, cooking up a massive meal, spending a lot of time in the kitchen, you can literally get this done in 2 minutes and it'll kickstart your day perfectly. So a common thing that comes up, that I always get asked about with my online coaching, is what sort of foods that you should be eating. Now this shake is something that I incorporate in a lot of clients' diets. Like I said, it's so simple, it's so easy, it's really healthy, quick, simple calories, it's high in protein and perfect if you're someone that's trying to lose weight. All right, blend this up. Slightly concerning that all the chia seeds are stuck at the bottom for today's shake. There we go. So, meal or snack number 2, like I said, is the world's greatest smoothie. I'll plug the calories at the top of the screen here for how many are in it. But like I said, if you're someone that's trying to diet, this is ideal. Some people sometimes struggle getting calories into the system. So if you are someone that can't essentially eat the required amounts of food, liquid calories are a great way to get food into your system. Like I said, quick, easy and simple, and a good protein hit as well. The rest of the plan for the day, we're actually heading down to Box Park Spa and Sauna again, so get a little bit of recovery work in, and then it's all about fueling up for tomorrow's training session as we travel down to Bristol. So I'll get this down me and then I'll catch you at Box Park Spa. So recovery session is ticked off this evening at Box Beach Spa in Brighton. Now, if you are from Brighton, I'd 100% recommend getting yourself down there. If you're an athlete, it's great for recovery as you've got your sort of your hot therapy and your cold water therapy on top of that as well. But if you're looking for something to do for maybe a date night or something like that with the missus, it's also a great idea on that front as well. That then leads us on to meal number 3 for the day. Now, me as an athlete, whenever I'm not training or we've got a day off like today, I like to have a big breakfast, so the majority of my calories are made up in the morning, and I'll snack throughout the day with lower calorie foods that are high in protein, like with the smoothie, and then the final meal of the day will be a lot higher in calories, but again, really high in protein. Whilst I've also got a bit of time on my hands because I'm not training, that means I can put a little bit more emphasis on the quality of the foods that I'm consuming, so I can really put that GCSE A-star catering to work. So for tonight's meal, we're going to be focusing again on getting good, healthy fats in, plenty of carbs and plenty of protein too ahead of tomorrow's training session. So for those that are up to date with the fixtures, we are playing Bristol Rovers away from home. So again, a completely new team for me to be playing against and a completely new stadium for me to visit in, which I can't wait for. But that does mean that for these next 2 days, the lead up to that game, I've got to be putting a good emphasis on the amount of foods that I'm consuming and the quality of the foods that I'm consuming as well. So on that note, let's get cracking with the third meal of the day. We've got all the spices going on tonight's meal. Garlic infused olive oil, turmeric, oregano, a bit of pyramid blue salt, which is one of the first times I've tried that, garlic granules and ground ginger too. Tonight's dinner, which is the last main meal of the day, 682 calories, so slightly less in calories than I thought it would be, but 40 grams of protein. Pretty simple, pretty basic. Salmon, 80 grams of rice and a bit of broccoli, and that will see me through for the rest of the evening. And I do actually still have about 1,000 calories to play with after totaling those up on MyFitnessPal. So I'll get this down me, have a little play around with what I've got left remaining for the day, and then plan one more meal for the rest of the evening. Right guys, so for the final meal of the day, it is 250 grams of chicken breast, 60 grams of basmati rice, a load of veg, all chopped up and prepared, and then a sweet and sour stir-fry pack. I do also add a little bit of blue rock salt, turmeric as well, because this is a great antioxidant, especially for football. It's great for getting rid of swelling and inflammation in the body, and then also a bit of ground ginger for overall health. So I've not quite worked out the calories yet for this meal, but I'll plug those at the top of the screen once I'm done. Now, me as a footballer, I aim to consume around about 2,800 to 3,200 calories each day, and this is really important for me because essentially, in my position, I don't want to be losing any weight and I don't want to be gaining any weight either. I want to stay roughly where I am. So I'm around about 88 kilograms each day. Now, for me, if I consume anywhere between 2,800 to 3,200 calories each day, I stay the same weight, and that's what's known as my maintenance calories. So I'll consume those calories from Monday to Friday, and then the day before a game, I'll potentially eat a little bit more food just to bulk up on some carbs, some extra fuel ready for the game. So for today, it's a case of sticking to 3,200 calories, and then tomorrow we'll be eating a little bit more food ahead of the game against Bristol. So let's get cracking with the final meal of the day. So, final meal of the day done. I think it was 720 calories and 66 grams of protein. So a decent last meal of the day. I'm pretty happy with the totals that I got to. I'll put the totals that I've had at the top of the screen here. But for the rest of the video, I just wanted to touch a little bit about the supplements that I consume on a day-to-day basis, as this is something that I always get asked about. Now, in all honesty, I am running a little bit low, so there are a few things that I'm missing, but in the current stash or the current stack, we have vitamin D, magnesium, cod liver oil, which is probably one of my most recommended. Then electrolytes, a multivitamin tablet, a biotin tablet. Now these three here, the final ones, are probably more for if you're balding or have had a hair transplant like me, but a biotin tablet, minoxidil, and finasteride. Now, like I said, there are a couple more that are missing off here that I do have. So on top of those, I would normally go for ashwagandha, and I have been known to take a CBD oil as well, just because me personally, I really like to monitor my sleep and make sure that I'm fully on top of that, as it's so important if you're a footballer, and those definitely help make an improvement. For the rest of the night, it is now going to be a case of chilling. I'm going to get the recovery pants on the couch, chill out for a little bit, and then head to bed ahead of tomorrow's travel down or up to Bristol Rovers. Right, so that wraps up another YouTube video. So I want to say a massive thank you once again to everyone supporting the page, everyone liking the videos and subscribing to the channel. I really do appreciate it. We are closing in on 2,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. So I want to say a huge thank you for all the support. Today's video, I finished on 2,900 calories and 180 grams of protein, which is a decent day and a decent day's food as well. Hopefully you got some tips, tricks and recipe ideas from that if you are an aspiring footballer or if you're someone that's potentially just looking to lose a little bit of weight. We have now got the recovery pads on, which is something that if you follow me on social media, you will have seen me practice and preach about before. These are great for helping you recover for training and games. And like I said, we've got a very busy schedule coming up as we are training tomorrow and then traveling to our game against Bristol Rovers, which is hopefully another 3 points for the boys. So I'm going to sign out here for another vlog and I'll catch you all in the next one.